New investors and wholesalers often think that if they don't have access to the MLS, they can't succeed in their business. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about all things MLS, what it is, why it's important, and if you really need it. And if you're new to the channel, my name's Justin You're and I've helped hundreds of people make money in real estate. So first of all, what even is the MLS? It stands for Multiple Listing Service, and I want you to think of it as the real estate market. It's basically where all the homes are listed for sales. Whenever someone says they're looking for homes on market, they're talking about on the MLS. It's where all the realtors go and list the homes for sale. That's essentially what it is. And it's typically where most new home buyers go to look for homes. So they're looking for homes on the market with the MLS because they have other realtors helping them find their home. Now, whenever you hear the term off market, that's when you know someone's going to be looking for a home off the MLS. So MLS is on market homes, off market homes, or anything other than that, where they're trying to contact sellers directly. That's what the MLS is. It's just all the homes on the market, and it has all the data for like pending sales, which is homes that have already had offers accepted. So that's basically all the MLS really is. Now, the main reason why it's important for real estate investors and for wholesalers is for the ARV. If you don't know what an ARV is, it basically stands for after repair value. It's what a home is going to be worth after you were to fix it up to modern condition. That's what ARV is, and what the MLS tells you is it has all the sold properties which help someone determine what an ARV is. So for example, if someone's trying to buy a home to flip, like they want to flip this house and they buy it for $100,000, and the ARV, or what it's going to be worth after, is $300,000. The only reason that they know what the home is going to be worth after that to be that $300,000 is by using data on the MLS. So they're basically going to be looking at all the homes that have recently sold that are in similar condition as this home, similar area, but just fixed up. And they find that all these sold properties, like anything that has sold recently, maybe the last 3 months, last 6 months, have sold, and they all sold for around $300,000 after being fixed up. So it's basically this normal home that we had at first, this $100,000 home, it's fixed up. So maybe the same layout, same builder, same neighborhood, similar distance, like same type of home, except this one looks modern, this one doesn't. And they know that if we fix this up, it's gonna be worth $300,000 after. And they only know that by using the data on the MLS. And this is really the only reason why the MLS is that important, is because you can tell what homes are gonna be worth after you fix them up. You can tell these ARVs using data on the MLS. Now, a lot of people, when they try to comp properties, so when they're trying to determine ARV, that's what comp means, they're looking for comparable homes. When they're trying to determine ARVs for these homes, they're looking for homes that have just sold, but not necessarily caring about if they're on the MLS or not. Like, for example, not every home out there that has sold actually shows up on the MLS because maybe they didn't go with a realtor. Maybe the transaction was just a seller dealing with a buyer and there's no realtor involved. In those cases, those are sales as a public record, but they're not actually data on the MLS. So when an investor is going to be determining the ARV on a home, they're just going to be looking for homes that have sold on the MLS. And the reason for that is because after they fix up the home, they're going to list the home for sale on the MLS. And maybe you have a home that sold off the books or off the MLS for $400,000. But on the MLS, the best comparable home that is sold only sold for $300,000. Well, you're only going to be using the $300,000 for the ARV value. So that's why the MLS is so important, is because it helps you really gauge a good ARV for any home. So you might not need to be a realtor yourself to access the entire MLS and have access to all the data for homes on the market. However, it's super important for you to have some version of data that's pulled from the MLS. So these are websites like PropStream, Zillow, Redfin, like a lot of different websites out there have MLS data that you can pull from. Like for example, you find a home for sale and you're trying to buy it and you need help calculating or determining the after repair value. If you're not a realtor and you don't have access to the full version of the MLS, you're not stuck. You're not like, oh, like now I don't know what the ARV is. I don't know what this is gonna sell for. Well, there are certain websites out there that pull data from the MLS that are good, but just not as good and not as accurate as the accurate data of the MLS. So for example, you can actually pull the data to find a good ARV on any home using something like Zillow. It might not be as accurate as the MLS, but a lot of the data on Zillow is pulled directly from there. So for example, if you want to determine the ARV of a home using Zillow, all you gotta do is go to Zillow, you type in the address, and you can set like a perimeter on there for maybe like a 0.25 mile radius or a half a mile radius to look for comparable homes that have recently sold. And basically all you're trying to do is figure out what homes are super similar to this home home that you're trying to buy, but just fixed up. What are the most like properties in terms of bedroom count, bathroom count, square footage, in terms of distance, in terms of layout, in terms of garage size, in terms of 1-story or 2-story, like the most comparable properties to whatever you're looking at, you're looking for those, but just fixed up. And you can find these things on Zillow. I actually happen to use PropStream, and this is not a sponsor, but I like PropStream a lot because you can pull data from the MLS pretty easily, but you can get the job done to calculate any ARVs using Zillow or even like Redfin or something like that. So you don't have to be a realtor yourself to get access to the MLS to pull this data to find after repair values. You can just use Zillow or Redfin, which are free, or you can pay for a service like PropStream. And there's other things out there. I'm just not super familiar with the rest. I just happen to use PropStream most of the time. But the short answer is yes, you need the MLS. You need at least some version of the MLS to really succeed as a real estate investor or wholesaler. Also, if you want help to grow your real estate business, click on the link in the description, fill out the application, and someone from my team will reach out to you for a free strategy session. Peace.